Welcome to Valor and Values. My name is Jim Danielson. We're joined today by Brigadier General Kevin Stewart, United States Marine Corps retired. General Stewart is CEO of Carolina Museum of the Marine, Allegre Civic Institute. And we'd like to begin by asking you, General, a bit about your background and what led you to become a Marine.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I was blessed. My dad was a United States Marine. I'd lived here at Camp Lejeune, and so had the opportunity to really interact with many of the, I would consider, heroes of our nation who were serving our country. And I always say the greatest gift that I was given as a child was a tremendous example of loving your country, being a patriot, selfless service and sacrifice, and just tremendous values that, as I saw, I wanted to, replicate and commit my life to do the same type of thing.
I've heard you talk one time about three things that the Marine Corps tries to do: recruit, win our battles, and return good citizens to the country. Could you talk about that?
Yeah, that's the mission of the Marine Corps is, make Marines. And that's a very transformation process. When you earn that title and you receive that Eagle, Globe, and Anchor for the first time, it is just a, Marines, tears are running down their face because they're so proud. And so that's a huge thing, is becoming a Marine, because it's inside you. It lives in your heart and your being. And then that's what we do as United States Marines. We fight and win our nation's battles. We're the 911 force. We go where we're called and we succeed and win and accomplish the mission. But then, even the greater thing is, as Marine leaders, you're entrusted with the sons and daughters of our nation. And that's a solemn responsibility to lead them, take care of them, challenge them, and make them better. And then ultimately, through that process, when they go back to their communities, they're better citizens. There's so many examples of Marines that have transformed, came from difficult backgrounds through that process, and they go back and serve in their communities and do just tremendous things. And I don't think the Marine Corps gets enough credit for that piece and the conscious effort we kind of put into molding the future generations. And you see it again, where people that did 4 years, and for the rest of their life, they are just so proud of their service as a Marine and attribute their later successes in life to those values that they learned as a United States Marine.
It seems that a young person, especially one who's come from a difficult background, to get their legs under them, they need to overcome a challenge. They need an accomplishment in their lives. And certainly Parris Island is that. But just as you see sort of in university classrooms year after year, the new students coming in are different than they used to be in the past. I imagine there are new recruits coming in who are different than in the past. How does the Marine Corps cope with that in terms of properly training, initially training in boot camp, and offering that challenge that is so important to somebody at the beginning of it?
Yeah, I think that's what draws so many people to the Marine Corps. The few, the proud. That's the service that has the reputation as being the hardest, and so that's this group of people that is, the allure of being a Marine and becoming a Marine is going through that challenge. In recruit training, the culminating event they call it the Crucible, and it's several days long, very challenging, arduous, hiking, running. I mean, just a very tough circumstance, but through the end, you overcome it. You find things in yourself that and go beyond what you thought you could do. And that's something that's in many people's lives, they'd never experienced that. They truly don't know what they can accomplish. And once you give somebody a taste that, hey, they can really do a hell of a lot more than what they thought, that then same kind of spirit carries on with them for the rest of their life. And it's the responsibility of Marine leaders. It's once that Marine, he goes through that crucible of recruit training, and then he, continues through recruit training, but then he's now serving as a Marine. Now it's the responsibility to continually challenge them and never let them kind of fall back into the status quo and kind of rest on their laurels. You always got to press them, push them, train them hard. And, it's like the whole thing of, you got to a lot of times be uncomfortable. That's how you grow. That's how you change. And that's, I think, through all these different experiences, in recruit training, overcoming the crucible, and then just in their daily service, always overcoming obstacles, always learning, adapting. That's why they become so successful later in life, because they're always being challenged and they kind of learn a lot about themselves and don't underestimate their capabilities and capacities.
Okay, so we know that young people are, well, we're all growing, but young people are just getting started at this. They've overcome the challenge of boot camp. Now they're going through their training and sort of the arduous development of a Marine. Can you say something about, you say, okay, well, people get older and we hope they get more mature, but in the Marine Corps, we have these virtues of honor, courage, and commitment. Do you very often see those start to sort of almost sort of emit or emulate from somebody as he grows older as a Marine?
Oh yeah, I think it's, everyone's on this like kind of personal journey of growth and development. And I think those core values, you first kind of get a sampling of them and you learn about them. You see other people living, serving in that manner as examples. And then it's like anything, as you practice things, you get better. You put the time into them, you get better and better. So I think throughout a Marine's journey, through all the different, things they're going through, their character continues to grow and develop. And that's what's, I think I go back to why it's so great in being a Marine, because when you leave at the end, you're going to look back and go, where I am today versus where I was when I first came, I'm so far ahead. I never really knew what I wanted to do in life, but I knew if I joined the Marine Corps, I was going to be in a better off spot in the end. And I think that's a great thing.
One final question. If we can acknowledge we're in troubled times right now in American society. What do you think the Marine Corps has to say to Americans that could help bring back something of the political tradition that we've known for so long?
Yeah, every Marine, raises their hand and says, I support and defend the Constitution of the United States, and willing to, sacrifice their lives for it. And so I think there's this, requirement to really understand what that means, what that truly means. And there's, those are the foundational principles of our country. So you have a responsibility to become, to know what the Constitution means, what our founding fathers were doing to create this great country and this democracy. And then I think it also just is important to love your country, to be a patriot. I still, when I hear the Star Spangled Banner, I get goosebumps, and all those things that, Marines are always, there's morning colors, there's taps, there's all these things that you're always doing where you're paying homage to the country, saluting the flag and all those things. In the rest of daily civilian life, you don't always get those challenges. I not every day. When I was a kid, we used to sing every morning, Pledge Allegiance and sing national anthem and things like that. Marines are doing that every day, and so they start to feel it and believe it and have a pride in their country. And I think that definitely correlates that every citizen should have that same type of thing. Our country's not perfect. We got our challenges and issues, et cetera, but there's no place you'd rather live. And so love your country and serve it well.
Brigadier General Kevin Stewart, thank you very much.
Thank you.